Hey everyone, it's Talia here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. This is part 2 of my nail art unboxing from DK Beauty, and we're going to continue using a variety of the different nail art in that package and come up with 10 different nail designs here for Valentine's Day. So first off, we're going to start with this purple holographic look. Now I did do it on neutral tips, and I kind of wish I would have done it on clear, so if you're going to recreate this, I think I would recommend doing it on clear. But we're going to prep our tips by filing that little edge and then putting some of the après tip primer on, and then we're going to move into using this gel bottle color that is so pretty. It's called Dhabi Nights, and it is a purple holographic, and it applies like a dream. It is so nice and smooth. I'm going to go in and do one thin coat, and then I'm going to cure it. After it's cured, I'm going to go in with a second coat, but I am not going to cure this one because I want to use some of these Periwinkle loose glitter hearts from Glitter Mix Canada. I thought these would pair really nicely with that purple holographic look, so I am just going to place them down. Taking some of the KoKo Glass builder. I really like working with this glass builder for nail art because it is a pretty thin viscosity, but it's also super clear, so it works great for loose glitter. I'm just going to paint a really thin coat down on this, and then I'm going to hold the nail upside down just to kind of let the gel float over top of those glitters and cover everything up. Now I like doing this because after it is cured, I can remove the dispersion layer and I can give the nails a quick little buff if any of those glitters are kind of poking through. I find it doesn't compromise what the glitters have done for the pattern underneath, if that makes sense. I really like working with the glass builder gel for a ton of different nail art mediums. So after I have the nail shaped the way that I want it to, I'm going to go in with this stamping plate here from Clear Jelly Stamper, and I'm just going to use this lace pattern that's kind of at the front of it here and stamp down a lace. And you can see that I'm kind of playing around with how I wanted it to look. Did I want it to be a corner? Did I want it to be like cover the whole nail? And ultimately I decided to kind of make it look like it was a French tip with the white just on the tip of the nail. I'm going to get everything all top coated, and you can see all the different layers here with that holographic glitter as the background. We've got the stamp, and then we also have the loose glitter hearts. It turned out so cute. This is a great way to use some of those loose hearts that you might already have in your collection, or look at some of the other really cool ones that Glitter Mix Canada has. So the next look that we're going to do is this kind of denim looking chrome heart. This is kind of an experimental design, and I'm going to walk you through what I thought of the different products that I used. Starting with some of this Accents gel polish in Fanfare. Apparently this is a super popular color, and I can see why. It is a nice medium blue color, but it is a nice bright blue at the same time. So I'm going to paint that down in one thin coat, and then on my little ring palette here I'm going to take two other shades. I have Azzuro and Breathless, and they are also kind of blue shades as well. Grabbed my KoKo ombre brush, which is something that I love to create this textured look with, and I'm just kind of roughly putting them on top of the blue color here. I'm going to do this in two coats so it creates some really cool layers. Now at this point I wasn't too sure what I was going to do for my Valentine's Day nail art on top, so I decided to go in with the KoKo matte top coat. This way I could do any sort of art on top of it that I wanted, and so I'm going to take this plate V10. This is one of my favorite go-to plates for Valentine's Day because it just has so many great heart images on it. I'm going to stamp down this one here in the top right corner in silver, and I knew that I wanted it to match the liquid chrome that I'm going to be working with, but at this point I honestly wasn't too sure what I was going to do with it. And that's kind of why I said this design was experimental, because I got my liquid chrome out, I started painting and filling in the balloon because I was thinking I was originally going to make the background, like the silver chrome, be the background of the balloon, and then once I started painting I was like, hey, this looks kind of cool being like a silver on silver look, so I just kind of ran with it. I was just painting little outlines around it, and then I was going to go in and do some lines in the middle of the balloon and just kind of see where it took me. I really liked the contrast of the silver on silver with the chrome being a little bit more shiny than the background was. At this point I just kind of kept rolling with it to see what it was going to turn out like, and I went down and stamped down the string of the balloon here, but it did have a little bit of gaps, so I was like, no problem, I can just fill in some of these gaps with that liquid chrome and see how this ends up looking. And this kind of happens to me a lot when I'm playing around with different nail art. I'm kind of just getting a feel for how the product is moving and working at this point, but overall I think this like silver on silver chrome look turned out really cool. I would just try it next time where I continued filling in the balloon like I had originally planned and then go back in with a stamp on top. I think that would look really cool with it. But if you guys have tried this liquid chrome, definitely let me know what you guys like to do with it. I would love to hear some of your feedback with it too. This is the next look that we're going to come up with. It is kind of like an antique tart looking nail. First thing that I'm going to do is take some of that glass builder from KoKo and Claire, and I'm just going to paint a thin layer down on top of a neutral tip. You could do this on a clear tip too, whatever you want to do with it. I just like playing around with these neutral tips because I think they're so fun. And after that is cured, I'm going to go in with 3 different types of flakes. So you saw 2 of these flakes in a different video, and then the Glitter Mix Canada one was in my last video. And I'm just going to place them in the dispersion layer, and I love kind of playing around with flakes in different nail art and kind of seeing how they work with the different mediums. So you can see that the gel bottle one just like sucked into that dispersion layer, and then the Glitter Mix Canada one and this gold one took me a little bit to kind of work out. So I'm using a silicone tool to apply these flakes down, and then I'm just using my finger to pat them where I want them to be. I wanted to see how this glitter matte top coat from KoKo and Claire would look with the flakes. So I'm going to put this down right on top of the flakes, and you can kind of see it going more matte here. It definitely takes away some of that brightness of the flake. And once I saw how much it toned down the metallicness, I was like, you know what? I'm going to roll with this. I'm going to do some sort of antique look with it. So one of my favorite ways to make your nails look a little bit more antique is to stamp down some script. Now my brown is a little bit dry here, so it separated when I was stamping, and I was a-okay with that. And then to make these nails look a little bit more Valentine, we're going to take this really beautiful stamping polish. This is such a pretty like cranberry stamping polish, and we're going to stamp down a heart just in the center of it here. We're going to top coat, and we're going to see some of those layers kind of pop out. Now they definitely stayed more matte than I was originally thinking that they would, but that's okay because I thought it worked for this look. For this double pink on pink look, we're going to work with a chrome and do some chrome stamping. So first thing, we're going to pick this really nice bright pink color. I did 2 thin coats of this particular accents color, and I really like the shade of pink with this. Again, I'm pretty sure this is a popular color within the accents community, and I can see why it is just such a stunning pink. I am going to do a matte top coat on top of it because we're going to do some chrome stamping with that beautiful bright pink that you guys saw in that unboxing video. So take an old stamper head here and just put some of that stamp color down. I decided to use this stamping plate because I was really wanting to play around with this particular image. I'm going to use my clear jelly stamper clear stamping polish for this look. I'm going to stamp that down where I want it, and then I'm immediately going to go in with that second stamper of that hot pink chrome right on top of it, and I am not worrying if I get some excess on here because I can easily remove it with some acetone on a swab here. Then for the hearts, I decided to use white, but I mean a different shade of pink or even red would have looked really nice with this as well. I'm going to line up where my image is and just stamp it down. Now this took me a little bit to figure out where it was supposed to line up, so I'm really happy that the clear jelly stamper plates come with the little inserts with them, because I usually have that off in the corner where I'm kind of watching it as I'm stamping it down. But this is an easy look, but also super cute. Imagine the rest of the nails with like a really pretty bright color of pink with it would look so nice. Some anti-Valentine's Day nails here. So I'm going to take this color from Accents. It is called Y2K, and it is just a stunning like chrome dark gray. I was very happy with how this shade applied, and we actually used the other one in this little mini collection that I showed you in that unboxing too later on in this tutorial, and both of them applied so nice in one coat. Now to make it a little bit more moody, we're going to use Fuzion's Mercury matte glitter top coat. I prefer stamping on top of a matte top coat basically all the time, but especially if I'm going to do some chrome stamping. Now this blade here, V14, is a hands down staple in my collection, not just for Valentine's Day but also for Halloween, because I love all the splatter images on here, and I use the blood drips all the time during Halloween. It is just a go-to plate for me, sorry. So you're gonna see me actually kind of play around with the stamping here and show you some things that didn't really work, that I didn't really like, before we actually get to the image that did work. So I went down with blood splatter initially, and then I was thinking, hey, maybe I should try some of this red chrome that I shared in a different video and see how this works for stamping. So I'm going to put some on that same stamper. Actually, I just removed the pink on top of it, and now the black sticky polish here was like way too dry, so it wasn't transferring because I had let it sat for so long. Again, we're just playing around to see how our products are working, but I decided to roll with this because I was curious how I would like it if I did go in with the stamping right away, the chrome on top. It turned out okay, but it wasn't really the look that I was going for. So I decided to do this like blood dripping heart and immediately go in with the chrome on top of it with the clear sticky stamping polish, and this turned out really good. I liked the clear better in combination with this red because it just kind of made it pop a little bit more and didn't take away from it being black underneath. This is the next design that we are going to do, and I want to make one suggestion here that if you're going to do this sugaring technique, to stay away from the free edge because I think it kind of takes away from the nail, but we're going to dive into that a little bit more. I love this shade. This is called Breeze, and it is a beautiful soft purple color, and I decided to put it over top of a neutral tip. That way I had a little bit of the color kind of poking through and it wasn't going to be super bright purple, if you know what I mean. But this would be a really great gel polish for different layering and even like the milk bath type of look. So I'm going to paint this down, and then I'm going to go in with this stamping plate V28, and I wanted to do this swirl image. I am going to take this purple polish and I'm stamping this down on like a removed dispersion layer of that purple gel polish. You don't want to stamp right in your dispersion layer because it is too sticky and it won't transfer very well. So I'm going to stamp this down, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my top coat. Now this is imperative to any sort of sugar technique because if you don't top coat, then you're going to have to go in and top coat around your sugaring, and it's just a big pain in the butt. So always keep in mind that you top coat first before doing your sugaring. So I'm going to stamp the little hearts down where they kind of line up with the image here, and then I'm going to take the Fuzion paints in 110. Now you don't have to use this particular product. You just want something that cures, tack free, and is easy to kind of paint with. So I'm going to fill in all of these hearts with that color. And then taking some of that Bubblegum Studio Effects reflective loose glitter, we are just going to dump this straight into the gel, and you want to make sure that this is covered completely before you cure. And then when you do cure, the Fuzion paints, if that's what you're using, are UV cure only, so they need a 2-minute cure. And after they come out of the light, you're just going to brush off your excess glitter here, and this is what the design turns out like. If I was going to do this design again, I would probably just do one big heart in the middle and stay away from the free edge because I just think it looks kind of lumpy and bumpy on the free edge, but overall this is such a fun way to use those loose pigments. Let's work with some nail decals here. So this is the design that we are going to create, and we are first going to start with these 3 gel polishes. And I'm going to place them on my little ring palette here just so that they are ready to go for the marbling technique. So I am going to use the brush from the gel polish bottles here and do like a loose marble like you can see, and off camera I am wiping my brush off in between changing colors here because they do get a little bit blended. You can use a brush for this, but I find the ones in the bottle just kind of melt everything the way that I want it to look, and using some of that Accents Koi, which is that milky white that you're seeing, is really going to create the cool blending effect that you're seeing here. I like to suggest to use like a couple milky colors and then one more brighter color like the pink one, because then you're going to get the milky blending with it and it looks so good. So I am using the KoKo Glass ombre brush again. This is just one of my go-tos for marbling, just to lightly swirl the different shades together. I'm going to use these Roses Floral Decal here. These are so pretty, and the shades match pretty nicely to the colors that I was wanting to use. I'm going to remove my dispersion layer because when you're working with sticky decals, you want to make sure you're working on a removed dispersion layer or the decals will not stick. And I'm just going to put the flowers down in kind of a little cluster in the center of the nail. I try my best to stay away from like the side edges of the nail or the free edge or the cuticle when I'm using decals because I am going to encapsulate these and I don't want them to be too bulky on the sides or the free edge. So after I have all of the decals down where I want them, I'm going to take some more of that glass builder from KoKo Glass, and this is what we're going to use to encapsulate these decals. After that has cured, I'm going to remove my dispersion layer, and now I can give these nails a little bit of a buff because there are some parts of the decals that are kind of poking through. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot get my decals to lay flat completely 100% of the time, and this is why I like encapsulating them in a clear so that I can give them a quick buff after and make sure there's no lumps or bumps. Now we're just going to apply our top coat, and we can see all of that milky marbling kind of poking through, and I thought about using some glitters or some flakes or something with these too, but I really liked how this looked just by itself, so I decided to leave it. This is another design that you guys are going to watch me fumble my way through, but the actual end result turns out so beautiful. taking some of this Breathless shade, which is that beautiful light blue milky looking gel polish. At least I think it's a milky looking gel polish until we start doing this design. I'm going to go in and do one thin coat of that color. I'm going to cure it, and then I'm going to take some of those flakes that were in that unboxing as well. This one is called Millie, and it is beautiful. It is a stunning like purpley blue color, but when I apply it on top of the blue, I can see a lot more of like the orange and yellow of the iridescent kind of poking through, and I'm not loving that. So instead of taking this off, I'm gonna just work with it. Get some of those flakes down, then I'm gonna go in with some of the fairy flakes on top of it from Coco and Claire, and I love these with the combination of the blue. I think it looked really cool. Now this is where I was thinking, okay, maybe this design is not gonna work the way I was hoping that it was going to, because I was thinking this light blue was a little bit more milky and see-through than it actually is. So I applied it down, completely covered up those flakes, and I was thinking, I don't want to redo this. How can I make this work? So I'm just gonna dab some of those colors up, and it started looking kind of more antique, and I was thinking I'm gonna just roll with this and see how it ends up looking. Added some more of those fairy flakes, go in with my matte top coat because we're gonna do some chrome stamping using this plate. Now I still haven't tried out this chrome pigment in the aqua color, which is just so beautiful. So this is what I'm going to use for my chrome stamping. I'm going to go in and put some of that on another stamper that I use specifically for chrome stamping. Go in with my white sticky polish here, and if you decide to use clear with this, I think this might end up making that aqua pigment stand out a little bit more than the white did. Now to do the next layer of this stamp, I decided to use number 13, which is kind of like a brighter dark blue. And if I was to do this design again, I would suggest using an even darker blue, maybe something like 227, that's just super, super dark, but I think it would just end up looking a little bit better. So I do my white layer here, and this is where I kind of see that, yeah, okay, I'm not loving that bright blue here, but overall it turned out really cool. I'm gonna get it top coated, and this is where I'm like, okay, all of this was worth it because it turned out so cool. It looks like it has like a mother of pearl background to this nail. I think it turned out really, really neat, but again, I would change that blue flower if I was to do this design again. We have to do some lace for Valentine's Day, so we're going to create this look here. We're going to take that really pretty chrome pink that was in that little mini collection, and we're going to do one thin coat down. This is just such a stunning color. I think this is going to be on my nails next. I did do a matte top coat for this look, but I don't really think it's necessary because we don't actually end up doing any chrome stamping or watercoloring or anything like that. So use your discretion with how you like to stamp for this part. But I really like this lace plate because it's got some cute lace images on it. It's not just lace that you would put like in the corner of the nail. It's got some really fun hearts with it as well. So I picked two polish colors that kind of match the base of this but are just slightly different. And that first one that I went in with, again, if I was to redo this design, I would probably skip that one and I would go in and just do the dark red one that you're going to see stamped next, because I think that it pops a little bit more and kind of matches the tones of what we're going for. But I decided to outline in the white lace as well. So again, we could stop here if we wanted to, but I decided not to. I decided to take this little corner lace looking thing, and I'm going to stamp this 3 times in one motion here. So we're going to stamp this part of the corner, we're going to flip it around, stamp right here, and then we're going to flip it a little bit more and kind of stamp off to the side. I think this kind of just closes in the nail and just makes the design, I don't know, look a little bit better. I don't know. What do you guys think? I kind of like accenting nails like this, but I'm going to top coat, and this is how this look turns out. Our final look uses the least amount of products and I think turns out super cute. So to start, we're going to take this color here from the gel bottle called June. I'm going to paint one thin coat down, and I really like how this applied in one coat. That if you wanted to do a second coat with that color to get it to be a more opaque, it would be good, but I kind of like how it looked a little see-through, so I just did one. Now I'm going to take this Coco and Claire matte heart top coat, and this can be a little finicky to use, so I find kind of placing the hearts down first and then kind of using my brush to smooth everything out. It works the best. This is the stamping plate that we are going to use for the hearts. I initially was thinking I was going to use the pink and the red stamping polish, but then when I took a look at the nail after it was cured, I was like, you know what, all I want is some simple white hearts stamped on top of this. I think that will look the best because some of that matte top coat got on top of, say, the pink hearts when I was top coating it, and it makes it look like it's layered, so I actually didn't want to add too much extra to this design. I thought it just looked really good on its own. stone. These heart top coats are really cool. They have this one that was matte, and then they also have 2 other like shiny options. They are really fun, but you do kind of have to work the heart around the nails, but it's a really cute look. So this is all 10 of the designs that we worked on in this video, and if you haven't seen that unboxing video where we show more of these products, definitely check it out because we do 3 more designs in that video too. So comment below and let me know, do you guys prefer the style where we work on 10 different designs like this, or would you rather see a full cohesive set of nails done in a video like this where we do the unboxing or some new products are shown to you? Comment below and let me know. Make sure you're following me on all my social media, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!